Drops on the glass, they show a rhythm soft, a rhythm slow. Why does it feel so hollow? Shadows in the rain, dancing in my brain. Nothing feels the same. Shadows in the rain. Footsteps echo on the street. Every part of my defeat. I chase the faces I can't meet. Is this the end, or just repeat? Fading light, fading sound. Where's the ground? Where's the ground? Shadows in the rain, dancing in my brain. Nothing feels the same. Shadows in the rain. Water's cold, but I still wait for every choice I've made. Rain-soaked streets, they hum so low. Flicker lights, where do they go? Empty eyes in a window pane. Silent screams, no one to blame. Shadows on the wall, they rise, they fall. Shadows on the wall, nothing at all. Footsteps echo down the hall. Each one feels like they couldn't call. Oh, a photograph left to fade. Promises made, now decay. Now decay. Do you hear the whisper, or is it just the wind? Shadows on the wall, they rise, they fall. Shadows on the wall, nothing at all. Time's a thief with a crooked grin, stealing moments we'll never win. I claw at the dark, I reach for the light, but shadows stay, they hold me tight. Place got a heavy low. Drops on the glass, they show a rhythm soft, a rhythm slow. Why does it feel so hollow? Shadows in the rain, dancing in my brain. Nothing feels the same. Shadows in the rain. Footsteps echo on the street. Every thought on my defeat. I chase the faces I can't meet. Is this the end, or just repeat? Fading light, fading sound. Where's the ground? Where's the ground? Shadows in the rain, dancing in my brain. Nothing feels the same. Shadows in the rain. barricade. What's left to save, what's left to trade? Placed high, heavy, low. Drops on the glass, they show. A rhythm soft, a rhythm slow. Why does it feel so hollow? Shadows in the rain, dancing in my brain. Nothing feels the same. Shadows in the rain. Footsteps echo on the street. Every thought on my defeat. I chase the faces I can't meet. Is this the end or just repeat? Fading light, fading sound. Where's the ground? Where's the ground? Shadows in the rain, dancing in my brain. Nothing feels the same. Shadows in the rain. Water's cold, but I still wait. Through every choice I've made. No shelter, no barricade. What's left to save, what's left to trade?
You sat beside me in the dark. The quiet spoke what we ignored. Our shadows touched along the wall, but not a word was ever poured. Your hands were still, your eyes unsure. Mine begged for more I couldn't say. If love had voice, it'd cry for us, but silence won again that day. We hovered close like two lost flames, too scared to give our hearts a name. You were barely a breath away, yet miles beyond what I could claim. I never asked, you never stayed, and so the moment slipped away. We danced around the truth so slow, until the fire ceased to glow. I think about that quiet night, how all we needed was a word. But silence builds the tallest walls, and fear was all that we preferred. I watched you leave without a clue, still aching from what never bloomed. We almost had a story once, but we got lost inside the room. I wanted more but didn't speak, afraid the dream would start to leak. You were barely a breath away, but I let doubt get in the way. The love we could have touched and known was left unspoken, left alone. Now memory is all I hold, a warmth that's vanished into cold. Trace that night with silent hands, a ghost of what I couldn't stand. The truth was close, too close to stay. You were just a breath away. into the dark. They scatter cold, they miss their mark. Each syllable just fades away, like no one hears a word I say. The air won't answer, won't reply. It only hums when I cry. Each call I send just ends the same. Echoes only know my name. The quiet speaks but never kind. It only mirrors what I hide. Echoes only know my name, calling back in soundless shame. No reply, just more of me, drowning in what used to be. I try to smile through this glass, but all reflections seem to pass. The world outside just moves along, while I dissolve inside a song. No footstep walks this silent floor, no knock arrives at my closed door. And when I cry, it sounds the same. Echoes only know my name. Lonely truths I can't escape. They bounce around in empty shape. Echoes only speak in waves, reverberate through quiet graves. Not a soul to break the frame. Echoes only know my name. I am here but never found, my voice a ghost without a sound. Even tears return unchanged. Echoes whisper back my name. A smile, a shame. No reply, just more of me, drowning in what used to be. Echoes only know my name. I am here but never found, my voice a ghost without a sound. Even tears return unchanged. Echoes whisper back my name. Let it happen step by step, and watched me beg for what was left. You didn't cry, you didn't speak, you didn't care, I felt so weak. Your gaze was cold, your voice was dry. You didn't even blink to lie. I stood there holding what we had, but you just shrugged and let it crash. I asked you once, you turned away like I was just your yesterday. Did you even flinch when I broke? Or were my tears a private joke? You walked away like I was dust and left me drowning in disgust. Told your friends before you left, as if I'd never feel the theft. You painted me in shades of wrong while playing brave and acting acting strong, but I remember every scene where love turned into something mean. And now I wonder what was real when you forgot how love should feel. You let me beg, you let me stay, then vanished in your own cliche. Did you even flinch when you lied? Or did you love the way I cried? You broke me down with every breath and left me grieving something death. You didn't pause, you didn't bend, you let betrayal be the end. And now I see, without a doubt, you wanted me to fade right out. Table wait for guests that time did confiscate. I set the plates, I pour the wine, but every toast is only mine. The stories that I never told now sit in corners growing cold. A party plan, the heart concealed, with chairs I never filled. The silence clinks against the glass of moments no one let me pass. Chairs I never filled, dreams that time had stilled, an emptiness instilled. Chairs I never filled. The names I never spoke, the truths I hid behind a joke. The seat beside me aches for weight, but always comes a little late. I dress the room in faded lights and sit alone through birthday nights. With every year the pain distilled in chairs I never filled. They haunt the floor like plans unmet, a crowd of ghosts I can't forget. Chairs I never claimed, but silently they blamed. A quiet I can't build. Chairs I never filled. The candles low, but no one walks in through the snow. A gathering that time has killed, with chairs I never filled. Tables set, the candles low, but no one walks in through the snow. A gathering that time has killed with chairs I never filled.
Rain-soaked streets, they hum so low. Flicker lights, where do they go? Empty eyes in a window pane. Silent screams, no one to blame. Shadows on the wall, they rise, they fall. Shadows on the wall, nothing at all. Footsteps that go down the hall, each one feels like they couldn't call. Oh, a photograph left to fade. Promises made, now decay. Now decay. Do you hear the whisper, or is it just the wind? Shadows on the wall, they rise, they fall. Shadows on the wall, nothing at all. Time's a thief with a crooked grin, stealing moments we'll never win. I claw at the dark, I reach for the light, but shadows stay, they hold me tight.
To hold me like I mattered before your silence left me shattered. A shift too subtle to explain, but still it burned like pouring rain. I caught your stare drift far away to someone else you wouldn't say. And all the warmth began to fade as promises were left unpaid. I felt you changing by degrees, but kept on begging on my knees. The moment you changed, I broke inside, while you just watched my trust subside. You moved away without a word and left me echoing unheard. Excuses soft and sweet, but none could hide your quick retreat. I traced the patterns in your tone and found the lies you'd sown and grown. You wore a mask you didn't need, but I still saw the love recede. Now every truth is wrapped in ache, and every vow begins to break. You left before you told me so, and acted like I'd never know. The moment you changed, the sky turned dim. The space between us stretched and thin. I tried to reach what slipped too fast, but found you buried in your past. There's nothing left that I can mend. You chose her story in the end. I stood where you once used to be, but you walked out invisibly. You enough been left that I can mend. You chose her story in the end. I stood where you once used to be, but you walked out invisibly. To whisper when I cried, you held my hand, you stayed beside. But lately all I get is cold, a love that's cracked and growing old. I call, you answer with a nod, like feelings faded, like a fraud. You speak to me like I'm a ghost, the one you loved but lost the most. Day by day, while standing close yet far away. You used to know my name by heart, now all I see is us apart. You say the words but lack the flame. You used to know, but you're not the same. We talk about the little things, avoiding truth that heartbreak brings. You laugh at shows but never smile, not like you did, not for a while. I kiss you soft but you pull back, like holding on might make it crack. I see the ending in your face, but still I cling to love's last trace. The way you breathe, the way you blink, it's not the same, it makes me think. You used to call me just to hear my voice when life would draw too near. Now I just echo in your frame. You used to know my name. Rain-soaked streets, they hum so low. Flicker lights, where do they go? Empty eyes in a window pane, silent screams, no one to blame. Shadows on the wall, they rise, they fall. Shadows on the wall, nothing at all. Footsteps echo down the hall.
Promises made now decay. Do you hear the whisper, or is it just the wind? Shadows on the wall, they rise, they fall. Shadows on the wall, nothing at all. Time's a thief with a crooked grin, stealing moments we'll never win. I claw at the dark, I reach for the light, but shadows stay, they hold me tight.
You didn't just leave with your name. You took the fire, you took the flame. You left me hollowed from within, with questions bleeding through my skin. You promised more than you could give, then showed me how betrayal lives. And now I'm stuck with what remains, a soul that echoes through the strain. I didn't ask for much to stay, just truth you slowly gave away. You took the part of me that cared, the trust I offered unprepared. And now I'm learning how it feels to heal from wounds that never heal. Played your part with so much grace, while building lies I couldn't trace. The stories changed, your eyes grew dim, each version whispered war so thin. And I believed until I broke each promise you had wrapped in smoke. Now every breath is stained with doubt of what love is and what it's about. You didn't flinch, you let me fall, and vanished when I'd lost it all. You took the part of me that hoped, and left me gasping just to cope. What once was light now turns to rust, because you shattered all my trust. You never looked back when you ran, while I stood frozen where we began. And though I try to breathe again, I'm haunted by what should have been. You never looked back when you ran, while I stood frozen where we began. And though I try to breathe again, I'm haunted by what should have been. Outside my door, with eyes that knew what hearts were for. We never spoke of growing old, just chased the sun and laughed too bold. But seasons shift and youth runs dry, and we don't get to ask why. Now all that's left are quiet rays and all those yesterdays. They flicker through the dark and light, but never stay for more than a night. All those yesterdays where time would slip and sway, still trapped inside my gaze. All those yesterdays, we danced in storms without a care, like fate would always keep us there. But I look back and see the cost in all the things that we have lost. A simple smile, a borrowed coat, now just a line I barely quote. What fades is more than I can phrase, like all those yesterdays. I try to hold what won't remain, a loved one sweet now dressed in pain. All those yesterdays still echo in my ways, a song I can't replay. All those yesterdays. I never thought we'd be apart, but memory rewrites the heart. I walk alone through autumn haze with all those yesterdays. All those yesterdays still echo in my ways, a song I can't replay. All those yesterdays. I never thought we'd be apart, but memory rewrites the heart. I walk alone through autumn haze with all those yesterdays. Last night I dreamt you walked beside, your laughter soft, your hands open wide. We wandered streets we used to roam, like time had turned and led us home. I reached to speak but woke instead, the words still stuck inside my head. And in that hush I felt the flame, I almost called your name. But memory plays the cruelest part, it echoes loud and breaks the heart. Called your name. The years have faded but not clean, you still return in every dream. I pass the cafe we once knew, expecting somehow to see you. My lips still know just how it felt, the way your presence used to melt. The ache returns, it's not to tame. I almost called your name. The moment passed, I looked away, afraid of what my voice might say. I almost called your name, but ghosts don't speak the same. Just silence wrapped in shame. Oh, I almost called your name. I miss you most when dusk turns pale, when warmth retreats and colors fail. Stillness I can't quite explain. I almost called your name. You didn't need to break the spell. Your silence said the truth too well. You looked away a second long, and suddenly I felt it wrong. I begged for warmth, you gave a chill, pretending love was standing still. But all the signs were in your breath, the scent of something close to death. You didn't have to speak at all. Your absence built the final wall. Your silence said what words could hide. You let another claim your side. I stood alone inside our vow, while you forgot the when and how. You shared your world with someone new, while acting like our days were true. You didn't lie with spoken things, but in the quiet your truth stings. I waited for the guilt to show, but all you gave was soft hello. It wasn't cruel, it wasn't loud, but I was buried in the shroud. The truth came crawling through your hush, a steady fall, a final crush. Your silence screamed from every glance. I watched you mourn a different chance, and while I begged for one more day, you'd already thrown love away. Some wounds don't bleed, they simply fade, until you feel the price you paid. You never said, you never cried. You let betrayal live inside.
tried to say the name, the distance screamed it all the same. I watched you vanish, inch by inch, each word you spoke, a practiced flinch. You played the part with soft control, but every pause exposed the toll. You didn't lie, at least not loud. You let the silence form the shroud. I begged for answers, none were said. Just quiet lips and turned down head. Your silence told me what was true. A love divided, split in two. No storm, no war, just pulling through. With every breath you drifted to. You loved me less with every day, but couldn't bring yourself to say. So I kept begging for the fire, while you let someone else inspire. The space between us turned to stone, and still you left me all alone. The worst betrayal wasn't rage, it was the way you walked off stage. You couldn't even speak the break. You let me bleed for your mistake. Your silence tore the seams apart and left a wound deep in my heart. You didn't shout, you played it smart, and left without a single start. Some lies are quiet, hard to trace, but leave a mark you can't erase. I'd rather hear the cruelest sound than fall where truth can't make us loud. Your silence told me what was true. A love to wound it, split in two. No storm, no war, just pulling through. With every breath you drifted to. Some lies are quiet, hard to trace, but leave a mark you can't erase. I'd rather hear the cruelest sound than fall where truth can't make a sound. You spoke about your latest crush. I nodded with a practiced grin. Inside my chest the silence screamed, but I just held it all within. You asked if I had someone too. I shrugged and changed the subject fast. I couldn't say the name was you. That truth was buried in the past. I wonder now if you could tell, or if I hid it all too well. You never knew you had my heart. I played the role, I played the part. I stood behind a wall so high.
show my face. We sat beneath the amber trees. The leaves were falling like my hope. I laughed too loud, I joked too much, while clinging to the tightest rope. You smiled, you glanced, then looked away, and I convinced myself it's fine. But nights would bleed into regret for love that never crossed the line. If I had spoken just one word, would everything have shifted, stirred? You never knew what burned in me, what I had hoped you'd someday see. You never saw the way I stared each time you spoke. I deeply cared. I gave my heart, then locked it down, and watched you leave without a sound. Some loves are meant to fade and stay, like morning clouds that drift away. But mine was carved into the blue, a silent vow you never knew. Decisions in the dark, while I believed we'd found our spark. I built a future in my head while you were walking out instead. The calls you missed, the time you stole, now I can see the hidden role. I waited long for you to show, but all the truth was staged below. You planned a life that I don't know, and never told me you would go. I was a stranger in your plans. You brushed me off with careful hands, while I stayed loyal, blind and true. You sketched a world without my view. You didn't fight, you didn't plead. You smiled and let your silence lead. I gave you chances, begged for more, but you had left long times before. You dressed your lies in gentler tones, while carving space in different zones. I tried to fix what I had missed, but you were gone with one last kiss. You acted like the choice was fate, but I was just a little late. And I was a stranger in your heart, a name you crossed out from the start. I stayed for love, you stayed for ease, then left me begging on my knees. Out before the fall, without a warning, hint or call. Now I'm the silence in your scenes, the one who loved the in-between. between. You wrote me out before the fall, without a warning, hint or call. Now I'm the silence in your scenes, the one who loved the in-between. You stood so near but felt so far, like watching love behind a jar. We smiled but didn't mean a thing, like birds with broken wings. I touched your hand, you pulled away, and I just let the moment stray. We used to speak without a word, now silence is all that's heard. I wish I knew the final sign before your heart slipped out of mine. It's like there's glass between us now, too close to touch, too far to vow. I see the pain behind your eyes, but neither one of us can try. I watch you fade with every breath, loving you in quiet death. We sleep like strangers side by side, pretending love has not yet died. You check your phone and look away, while I forget what not to say. We pass like ghosts in hallways,